Good morning, everybody, and happy Monday. Hope everybody had a great weekend. I was talking to some friends yesterday who are in the Midwest, and they said it was 65 outside, almost the exact same temperature as it is in California. Kind of mind-blowing. They're outside doing some yard work in flip-flops. Of course, in the Midwest, flip-flop season does start when it hits about 40, so little differences there. Today, we are going to end on our four-part sales process webinars that we've been doing. So ending with the close. The most important part, as we all feel, of the presentation, even though really the most important part is fact-finding. Today's, we're going to talk about just a few simple steps in the close and what to do if it's not actually closing right. We talked about an assumptive sales process, so assuming the sale throughout the whole process, so the close is actually one of the easiest parts. We'll start today with a pretty good quote there with confidence and enthusiasm are the greatest sales producers in any kind of economy. Since we know that the big change happened on 4/1, so with the short-term medicals, the changes happened on Saturday, that we know that we just have confidence and enthusiasm, guess what? We will be just fine. Considering the marketplace is now changing over from, originally it was a major med marketplace, then it changed to a short-term marketplace, and now it's winding up at a fixed benefit marketplace. That's what we gotta love about our industry. It's ever changing, it keeps us on our toes, and I will tell you, my perspective, I've been in this industry a really long time and I've never been bored. I don't think these next few years are gonna be boring at all. So happy Monday, everybody. Happy Motivation Monday. I do see a few new names on the call, so just to let you know how this is gonna happen, we go through a quick tip of the week, then we're gonna take a look at the trends, we'll take a look at our sales leaders, which we do have some pretty strong sales leaders from last week, and in the end, we're gonna end with the sales technique, which is the close. So the big closer. The tip of the week for the previous week, which is actually now in effect as of today, well, on Saturday, the new NatGen short-term changes. So the longest length of those plans are now going to be 1 day less than 3 months. They'll be offered in 1 month, 2 months, and then basically 89 days. Those are going to be the big 3 increments you can pick. They added a 10K and a 25K deductibles, but by adding those, they actually went through and eliminated the 70/30 coinsurance option, which is fine. Nobody really used those. I know I never did. Single pay options are out there as well, so we can finally do single pay with those NatGen short terms. One thing with that single pay option, if you select that, all those supplements, since we know we are huge bundle sellers here, all those supplements are still going to be monthly. The single pay option is only going to be for the short term. I had a lot of questions on that, so I just wanted to quickly clarify. Single pay option will be just for the short term. All the supplements will be monthly. And they are removing the office visit first benefits in most states. Take a look online, take a look on your quote NatGen or the ngah-ngic.com. The new brochures are up and running for that. So if you're wondering how it works, there are a handful of states, about 6 states that are still doing the office visit benefit, but they're only giving you one. And that's why NatGen, with all those short-term changes, decided to come up with that new product. So that new product was live as of Saturday. So it's called the new Hospital Expense Protection Plan. Went live 4/1, it starts as early as the next day, so it makes our lives a little easier. Comes in 5 levels, and the reason why, so we know the office visit benefit went away. It's on here. If you take a look about 3 lines down on level 3, 4, and 5, they have those 2 office visits at $75. The plans are pretty inexpensive as well. I know the level 1's about 20 bucks. So just give yourself a mindset of how it works. So with all those changes in the short term, we have this new plan that we can add on. It's gonna give them hospital benefits, x-ray benefits, confinement benefits, hospital administration benefits. I would say use it, especially at the price point it is. That should be on your quoting engine. So pull it up, take a look, run through it a little bit. If you have any questions, as always, reach out to training@ahcpsales.com. It looks like we're kind of on a NatGen kick today, so the tip of this week is, of course, NatGen yet again on here. So it's going to be their new contest. So they have a new contest that went out, and it is a cash contest, so you can earn 75 bucks every time you sell a NatGen, the Foundation Health Plan, with any of their accident or health supplements. Easy way to earn money. So if you sell a Foundation Health, which is their fixed benefit policy, pretty great one. I know we've been selling them pretty strong here. You sell those with any supplements, you get 75 bucks. You sell them with 2 of their supplement policies. You get an extra $100. Easy money right there. Now you just have to sell a minimum of 20 plans to qualify. This will be emailed out. Just to let you know, one quick thing that I noticed, the short term is not eligible for the bonus. So this is specifically for the foundation health with those supplements on there. So 1 foundation health, 1 supplement, bam, $75. 1 foundation health with 2 supplements, which is really what we should be doing, protecting the consumer there. Bam, an extra $100. Any questions on that? Wait for it to roll out, and of course you can contact us and we will find any clarifying answers that you do need. So those are the 2 tips of the week, the change in the short term, that new product, and the new bonus. We're going to take a look at what the trends are. So taking a look at the trends, we did have a pretty good increase there in our short-term medical last week, leading with NatGen and UHC. We had a really healthy week there in the fixed benefit sales, as we should. I'll expect this week to be more since we're really shrinking down those short-term, the policy lengths there. In your head, one thing to think there with the fixed benefit is that fixed benefit is now more of a long-term policy. Short-term is really going to be running with what the name of the product is. It is now really a short-term. 89 days there. 89 days, short-term. Fixed benefits are going to be more of a long-term solution. With all the options out there in the market, kind of getting narrowed down there, fixed benefits are really going to be the best. Also because of the price point on those fixed benefit policies that are out there, go through and make sure to add supplements. Taking a look at what our fixed benefit sales were, we were about 70% VBA, 25% NatGen. Huge change from the week before when we were like 90% NatGen and 10% VBA. So I guess we're kind of playing back and forth here. Accident sales are really no changes there. So we went right with NatGen and Healthy America. Good increase with the critical illness sales, about 70% CBL. NatGen's actually really catching up on that one. CBL used to be about 90%, but it seems like the standalone critical illness there through the National General is what people are really doing. Keep in mind with that NatGen CI product, it does come with that 10-year term life. I was talking to an agent who was talking about that critical illness, and what he said, he's like, how many critical illness policies do you know will actually have a death benefit that will pay out for the same price? Like, that's actually a pretty good point. So critical illness right there. And a great increase in dental as always. Love it, love it, love it. We should be selling dental to our consumers. It's great for them, the product they're going to use, and increases our retention. So the things we care about right there. What's in it for the consumer? They'll use it. What's in it for us? They'll keep the policy. So win-win. So NatGen PPO, and there with the golden rule as well. Let's do some shout outs this morning as far as it goes with the limited med. None of us are going to be super shocked by what name is in first there. So Katia Santamaria, as 4th week in a row, first, I'll tell you she got that by selling 11 foundation health plans in a week. Think about that. If she only worked Monday through Friday, that's over 2 a day. Well, 2 a day for 4 days and 1 day with 3. So good job, good job. We have Jillian Stockblower here. Stockbauer in 2nd there, and in 3rd, Robert Swander. So good job, you 3, leading in those limited benefit sales. If you need help on how to sell them, let us know. We can help you figure out how to pitch those. With our short-term medical, some pretty strong shout-outs there. So we have Wendy Larson, kudos, who sold 20 NatGen short terms. We have Victor Kravichinski with 15 HCC. And then we have Jacob Gordon, who did a combination of both NatGen and Golden Rule. So pretty good combinations there with the short term, some pretty strong sales. Last week was kind of the week to get those short terms in. So they nailed it, they got it in. Now we're changing over to the fixed benefits. So let's get those going. Let's get them moving for the consumers. Let's figure out how to explain it so the consumers actually keep it. That's what matters here. Now with these Motivation Mondays, they are quick, they are information packed, so we try to get you going off the phone as quick as possible. So we're going to jump into exactly what we are here to talk about, the sales technique as known as the close. So these last few weeks, 4 weeks in a row, we have been working through the effective sales process. Now we've been looking at the technique and the process called assumptive selling. So if you want to Google it, learn more about it that way, you can look up what's called an assumptive sales process. So assumptive selling, basic definition is an act as if something were true, I may well believe you. That's what it's called. Act if something were true and I may well believe you. Meaning you are going through the whole sales process with the assumption that the client will buy. So instead of sitting there trying to fight the client, trying to convince them, trying to do, all these little left hooks, right hooks, no, we're walking through assuming that the client is going to buy the whole time. That's what makes the sales process so strong. Assumptive sales processes are used in what are called intangible sales environments, meaning I can't physically give you something. It's not like when you go to Best Buy and you go to buy an HDMI cable and you ask questions and they hand you one. That's a tangible item. This one, we're going to talk about the what ifs. I can't physically hand you anything. Maybe an ID card eventually, 14 days after you buy, but that's why we do this. Now, every time I explain this, I always feel like I get, yeah, Dan, I assume that now, and every time I pick up the phone, I just assume I'm going to close. I get it, but this is actually different. It's in the way you talk, it's in the way you deal with the close. This is what makes the process so different. The assumptive sales process is really based off the concept that the customer must like you, trust you, believe in you, and know you're a professional. Those are the basic needs for this process to work. So we went through the ways to do an effective introduction. About 3 weeks ago here, we go through, you're just doing a quick introduction of who you are, so they're not thinking you're a freak on the phone, why you're calling, go through what's in it for them in the process. Keep in mind, through that, the video is loaded online in our training section. It's going to give you a concept of not to do just a standard boring introduction, how to throw the client a little off so they'll listen. I don't know how many calls you get a day, but when I pick them up and I hear the same salesperson over and over saying, hey, this is Dan, this is what I'm going to do, I get bored and my defenses go up. You need to start a little different. We kind of talked about how to go through that. Next, we talked about the fact finding, which is a huge part of your process, 60 to 70%. This is a part where we get our client talking a lot, and we have 5 main concepts that we need to know, right? Just concepts, the way we ask them and dig into them, we got to dig a lot. We need to get to know the client. We need to get them to tell us stories so we can tell stories. Keep in mind, clients are going to remember stories better than numbers. People naturally can't retain numbers easily. Maybe you're one of the weird ones that can. If so, kudos to you. But clients will remember the stories that you tell. Clients will remember better the stories you tell about them, because if you get them involved in the conversation, guess what? They're going to care. You talk about yourself and the time you broke your arm and you fell down the stairs and now you had this really awesome AME on your policy. They'll care a little bit. They'll care a little bit until you get about 40 seconds in the story, then they're going to zone out. No, you need to get them involved and talk about them. So fact finding, what we need to dig into is get the stories out of them. So we need to find 5 things as well, so we can make sure we're pitching the right policy. So really what the previous insurance situation is, that's going to help us know if we can go major med or if we even want to. The why they're calling, a lot of people call that the pain point. So they go through previous insurance, you're going to get the pain point, you'll get the consumption. Consumption means, don't think of it as eating, it's how they're going to use it. So you're going to go through how will they actually use the policy? When have they gone to a doctor? What surgeries do they have planned? How often have they hit their deductible? Who else is going to be on the policy? Consumption is a pretty big part of that process. And then we end with the easy ones. Well, budget, not always the easiest, but you need a viable budget to do this process. Big thing is I see a lot of agents not get the budget because they're uncomfortable asking for it. If I can make the absolute best policy in the world and it's going to be $1,000, but my client's budget's $200, I just wasted their time and I wasted mine. Viable budget. Don't move on without it. If your client won't give it to you, maybe that's not going to be the best client to work with. You can kind of, work with them on getting it out, figuring it out, maybe doing the shock technique, So your policy is going to come to about $2,500. How does that sound? They'll freak out. And then, of course, the good old start date. When do they need the policy to start? Maybe you're going to get the conversation, I needed it last week when I broke my ankle. We're going to have a different conversation than, hey, I need it in a few weeks. So keep that in mind. Then we jumped in and we talked about the presentation on there, which is us going through, that was last week's call, recommendation, making sure you sound like a professional, how they're going to use the benefits, go through the supplements as well, tangle them in so it doesn't sound like they're completely separate, but do let them know at the end that yes, they are separate policies. Getting that yes to benefits and not moving forward without getting the yes to benefits, and then of course giving them the price. That's a lot. We just went through a lot. Now, what we're going through to talk about today is the close. Okay, The biggest thing with the close is actually the end of the presentation. I will tell you number 4 on presentation. If you take a look on your screen and look at number 4 under presentation, yes to benefits, that's actually going to be your close, honestly. You know, if these benefits, are these benefits going to work for you and your family? If they give you the yes there, that's where we go, honestly. We'll take a look at a few things in a second, but you don't move on until you get that yes. I have something very similar to this on my wall for when I am talking to customers to make sure I hit all these points. My biggest one is yes to benefits. If my client won't say yes and they say, they're okay. I don't want an okay. Well, I guess it'll work depending on what the price is. Great, okay, I get what you're saying. But let's say, you know, you gave me your budget, I kept it well within your budget, so we're gonna throw that concept out the window. How do the benefits sound? Because you know the price. You know you kept it within the budget that they gave you. You know all the money part's going to be fine. You need them to concentrate on the benefits. That's a retention question. If your clients are canceling a lot, make sure you spend more time to find out about the benefits. Because if you hear hesitation, guess what? You can stop and find a different plan. You can stop right there and find a different plan and redo step 3, presentation. Go back over that if you want. That's a huge part of your process. So to take a look at the close and to kind of jump in, even though you had to hear my little soapbox about it so far, so the close is really, you know, we have the assumptive sales process here. You already asked for it if you presented the plan right. I can't tell you how many times agents are like, you know what, this is really great. Let's go over some overcoming objections. Let's go through how to close a client. I want to punch them in the face. No, that's not how it works. It's an assumptive sales process. You asked them if the benefits are right. You gave them the price, and now we're going to roll actually into the application. That's how this works. So what we should have done, we should have vetted the objections earlier. I love overcoming objections. I cannot tell you how many overcoming objections trainings I've gone to. I have been doing sales training and selling for 15 years. I love overcoming objections. I know so many techniques. I know all the little words, the little changes, the little movements. Not with this process. We should have vetted them out earlier. That's why we go through fact finding. That's why we're going to find out exactly what they need. That's why with the presentation, we tell stories and we check in to make sure that everything is okay. I've been doing this sales process specifically for 7 years. This exact sales process now for 7 years, and I will tell you, I get all my objections in my plan presentation, and I love it. I get to stop in my plan presentation and fix what needs to be done. We're in a really unique selling situation that we can actually change our product. Other people can't. Tangible items, I can't change that HDMI cable. I can't change what the benefits the TV has. We can change the benefits going through to make sure it's perfect for our client. I love it. I mean, we have an awesome supplement line. We have great short terms. We have so many limited benefits out there. We can change exactly what we need to. They've already agreed on it, right? So if you went through and you have listened to the other parts of this sales process, you tell them right in the beginning, hey, guess what? I'm going to ask you questions. I'm going to present a policy and then you're going to apply for it, okay? And they say, okay. You go through step 2 and you do fact finding and say, hey, this is what I'm going to do now. I'm going to present you a policy, and if you agree on it, you're going to apply, okay? And they say, okay. And then you present the policy. You've already told them twice, hey, guess what? You're going to apply for this if you like. So we just move into it. So you have the agreement. You need to be confident. So we went through the huge assumptive sales process. The first thing is what we talked about. And yes, I'm going to go back over it again. You will never, ever, ever move forward without getting a yes to benefits. Even if this is the one thing you're going to take away from all of these plan presentations, this will increase your close rate. Don't move forward. Customers are going to try to jerk you around. They're going to say every which way that they want to before they can say yes to benefits, because they know the second they say yes, they're sold. That is your close, yes to benefits. And then you can give them the price. It's going to feel awkward right away. So if you guys know anything about Zig Ziglar, which I bet we all do at this point, he says one of the most powerful parts of your sales process is silence. That's when you shut up, honestly. Do these benefits sound like they're going to work for you and your family? And you be quiet. When you're quiet, that's going to make them thinking. They know what's happening. They know that they're being closed. That's when we get to play overcoming objections. And the thing is, they already went through everything. They gave you all the ammo that you need. You built this perfect policy because you know exactly what they need. more likely the benefits are going to work. If you want to think of it in a sales concept, they already cornered themselves. You got this. You can move forward. If you get a yes to benefits, I'll give you the price, but do not stop. Do not ask if it's okay, ever. Okay, so what the biggest thing about yes to benefits is that's when you're going to get all your objections. When you get to ask, are these benefits going to work for you and your family, that's when you can kind of get that sales, you know, the adrenaline rushing and your heart's pounding and you're waiting for the yes. That's where it should happen. If they say no, you can ask, hey, you know, what exactly benefits didn't work, or what about this policy doesn't sound right, so I can fix that. If they say, yeah, you know what, these are absolutely perfect, that's when we get to have fun. That's when we actually move right into the application process. You asked for the sale kind of right there because you're doing an assumptive sales process. They had this whole time to stop you. We're going to move right into the application. That way, there's not going to be hesitation. Keep in mind, they're going to say, yeah, these benefits work. Great. And this policy is going to come in at $427.60. And the next step in the process is I'm going to complete the application. What I'll do is I'm going to ask you a few additional demographic information questions just so we can make sure everything's going to print out right there on your policy. Smooth, right? Guess what? I told them exactly what's going to happen. Now I'm going to be filling out the application for you. That's what you should do. It's smooth. You just keep it moving. Because once we get into that application, we can make sure everything's going to fill out at the end. Here's a big thing for you. I tell them, hey, so I'm going to go through, I'm going to collect basic demographic information. That's going to be printed on your insurance policy. Then I'm going to collect payment information, and in the end, we'll complete a few e-signatures and get those application numbers, which will help us track them through the underwriting process. After that, so you heard what I just said, I'm going to collect demographic information, which we're going to because we have to fill out that policy. It will be printed on the insurance policies, and we all know when we type in addresses wrong, clients aren't the happiest. We'll collect the payment information, which we know is completely true, and then we're going to complete some e-signatures, which we know as well. Those e-signatures do what? Well, we'll actually get the application numbers on there, and we can track them. That's what I just told them. What I'll do after that is I'm going to ask them basic demographic information questions, and this is going to sound kind of weird. I honestly don't care about most of these, right? I want to double check their address. I'm going to ask her things like, what's their middle initial? That's super powerful because it helps a customer know the process is happening and moving into the application. If you say, oh great, so the price is $427, and next step is we're going to complete an application, we're going to go through, fill out some demographic information questions, that's going to populate some, and then I'll collect your payment information, we'll do some e-signatures, and we'll start tracking the applications through the underwriting process. And then you shut up, and it's going to be quiet for a while, that's when they'll interject. So if you sit there and you say it and then you just stop, your client's going to naturally interject. That's just what happens. You have to keep the process moving. You have to have some basic demographic information questions. Keep them going, keep them moving. I know one of the biggest things that we sell is going to be those national general policies. If you use those policies through their site, QuoteNatGen, it's really easy because it's going to populate a page right away that will ask for their address. It's going to ask for their middle initial. You may already have all of this. Ask it again. Be like, I know you gave it to me. I want to make sure it's done right. What's your address? Great. What's your middle initial? My go-to is middle initial because I rarely ever put that on a policy, and that's going to get the client moving and thinking. So it'll help you be able to click through those applications that you have going on up and keep the conversation moving. Don't do like the chatty, nervous conversation. Keep it with a point. And just keep in mind, one of the biggest things, one of the agents on here, who's one of the top short-term selling agents there, he does this process. He keeps it consistent. He knows that the client already had the agreement. That's why he is so successful. We actually went through this process. He learned it about 5 years ago, and now he's one of the top agents here. Keep in mind, you already had the agreement. You already got the yes to benefits. They already said, yes, I want to buy. You have no reason to be freaked out. That's what makes this process so strong. Keep in mind here too, so one of the things that may happen is you may get some objections. They may use the adult spouse. If you do not get everything that you want, this seems really amateur, but I want to make sure that we talk about this right away, is that you're going to get a clear direction. You have two options at the end of everything that you do here. Okay, you have two options. You're going to assume the sale and move into it. You're either going to get a yes or a no. If the benefits don't work, you're going to go back and adjust it. If everything does work and for some reason, they don't have their credit card information or they don't have their spouse that they need to talk it over, you're going to get a clear direction. Okay, so it's either a yes or a clear direction, or a no, really. I mean, you could get a no, and we're gracious with no's. You know, this isn't going to work, this isn't what I want. We're okay with that. We're okay with, yes, this is exactly what I want, but I don't want that gray area. That gray area is where we are wasting our leads. So we get a clear direction. And that's going to be the time, the date, and the reason for the call. These are things that you need to talk about with your client. That's completely understandable. I get you need to talk with your spouse. I mean, you can do all the little overcome objections things with spouses. Please do that. But if not, you need to get a clear time, a clear date, and a clear reason for the call. If you just say, hey, yeah, I'm going to talk to you on Friday at 1 o'clock, who cares? They're not going to remember why. You need to have them write it down, grab a pen and paper, listen to them wrestling through stuff, trying to find a pen and paper, tell them that, say, grab a pen and paper. They'll do it. They will absolutely do it. I think it's a ton of fun. Have them do that. They will say, give you a time. They will give you a date and make sure they write down a reason and then have them repeat it back. Have them repeat it back. Have them repeat it back. Remember, grab a pen and paper, give them the time, agree on a time and a date, have them write down the reason, and have them repeat. They do need to talk to your spouse. Make sure when you call back the spouse is on the phone because, as I told you before, what's going to happen is if you're talking to the husband and he needs to talk to his wife, he's going to tell his wife these stories. He's not going to remember the numbers as much. So he'll be like, oh yeah, you know what, there's this really cool thing. If our kid falls down and breaks their leg, it's going to help pay for the insurance. And she's going to say, okay, so what is the deductible? Well, I don't know. Have them go through, have them be there. Make sure you get the whole buying party on the phone. So it's a good visual representation. This is one of the things that I have, one of the things that helps me go through my process. Keep this on the wall. I keep it up, I keep it going. It lets me know how my assumptive sales process works. I have a few other things on mine that just have some statistics to help me keep motivated, keep me moving. But here's the assumptive sales process that we spent our time going through. If you do have any questions about the assumptive sales process or want any help talking about how to through pitch policies or questions on the new AHCP product, the hospital expense protection, give us a call here at training@ahcpsales.com. Of course, we do have agency services. They are here to help as well. The phone number is at the bottom of your screen. And I thought we'd end with a pretty nice quote here. So proper planning and preparation prevents poor performance. Try saying that at 8 in the morning. That's a really good challenge there. So proper planning and preparation prevents poor performance. That's what we talked about. We are preparing our sales process. We are getting ready to win. We are getting ready to be successful. That is what we do. If you have any questions or you need any help, feel free to reach out, training@ahcpsales.com. I hope everybody got at least one or two things out of this webinar today and go forward and make it a great Monday.